Union News, the 25th of February, 2024. Welcome to Union News, your guide to what's happening in the trade union and labour movement in the UK. Reports are by Pat Harrington and music is by Tim Brown. Please consider subscribing on your chosen platform.
RMT anticipates challenges with Labour at the helm. During the RMT Young Members Conference, Eddie Dempsey voiced concerns over the Labour Party's reliability on fulfilling its promise to repeal the strikes, minimum service levels law. He highlighted the importance of solidarity within the trade union movement, and progressive elements within Labour to exert pressure for change. Dempsey also touched upon the future of rail services, suggesting a shift towards a centralised commissioning model similar to Transport for London, which could lead to significant changes in how rail services are managed and operated.
Strathclyde campaigners rally for bus service overhaul. Nearly 10,000 citizens have made their voices heard through a petition to Strathclyde Passenger Transport, demanding a transformation of the bus system. The call for public control is driven by a coalition of trade unions, anti-poverty advocates, and environmentalists who argue that re-regulation, franchising, and public ownership would lead to more affordable and efficient bus services. This movement underscores the critical role of public transport in economic development and environmental sustainability.
STUC demands clearer vision for National Care Service. The Scottish Trades Union Congress has expressed dissatisfaction with the SNP Green Coalition's vague proposals for a national care service. The STUC is calling for a detailed plan that addresses the pressing issues facing Scotland's care sector. The lack of specifics has raised alarm among stakeholders who are eager to see a robust and well-defined strategy that ensures the long-term viability and improvement of care services. Museum staff in Liverpool strike over unpaid COVID bonus. The staff at the National Museums of Liverpool, represented by the PCs Union, have launched an 8-week strike action. The dispute centres around a COVID bonus that the government had promised but has yet to deliver. The workers are using picketing and public demonstrations to highlight the discrepancy between their treatment and that of the museum's executives, arguing for fair compensation and recognition of their contributions to the cultural sector.
Welsh junior doctors stand up against pay erosion. Junior doctors have taken a decisive step by initiating a 72-hour strike to voice their concerns over long-standing pay erosion. These dedicated healthcare professionals, who form a crucial part of the National Health Service, NHS, are demanding fair compensation for their tireless work. Their dissatisfaction stems from the fact that their salaries have been gradually eroded over the years, leaving them financially strained. The British Medical Association, BMA, union, representing junior doctors, has firmly rejected the Welsh Government's offer of a 5% pay rise. Instead, they are advocating for a more substantial change, a restoration of salaries to match inflation rates since 2008. This demand reflects their commitment to ensuring that their compensation keeps pace with the rising cost of living and economic realities. The strike has garnered significant attention and support. On the front lines, picket lines have been established in key areas, where junior doctors stand united in their cause. These picket lines serve as a visible symbol of their determination to bring about meaningful change. Their colleagues, patients, and the public at large have rallied behind them, recognizing the importance of fair pay for those who dedicate their lives to healing others. Beyond the immediate impact, the junior doctor's stance is part of a larger conversation about fair compensation within the NHS. Healthcare professionals play a critical role in maintaining the well-being of communities, and their remuneration directly affects the quality of healthcare delivery. As discussions continue, policymakers must consider the long-term implications of pay policies and prioritize the well-being of both patients and those who care for them. And finally, new code to tackle fire and rehire practices amidst worker rights debate. The UK government has introduced a draft code of practice aimed at addressing the controversial fire and rehire tactics used by some employers. This new statutory code promises to empower employment tribunals with the ability to increase employee compensation by up to 25% if employers fail to adhere to the code's guidelines. The move is seen as a balance between protecting workers' rights and maintaining business flexibility. Business Minister Kevin Hollenreich championed the code, stating, "Our new code will crack down on employers mistreating employees and sets out how they should behave when changing an employee's contract." This announcement shows we are taking action to tackle fire and rehire practices by balancing protections for workers with business flexibility. The code outlines clear expectations for employers, emphasizing the need for proper consultation with employees and fair treatment during contract changes. It also discourages the use of dismissal threats as a pressure tactic to force acceptance of new terms. Susan Clues, chief executive of ACRES, highlighted the risks associated with fire and rehire, noting that it can seriously damage working relations and has significant legal risks for organizations. She advised employers to seek ACRES' impartial advice before considering such drastic measures. Supporting the code, Alexandra Hallchen from the Institute of Directors and Ben Wilmot from CIPD praised its clarity and emphasis on good industrial relations. They underscored the importance of early and meaningful consultation with employees to find mutually agreeable solutions. However, the response from unions has been one of skepticism. TUC General Secretary Paul Novak criticized the code for lacking the necessary strength to deter unscrupulous employers. This code lacks bite and is not going to deter bad employers, like P&O, from treating staff like disposable labor, he remarked, calling for more robust legislation. The introduction of the code follows a TUC poll revealing that 1 in 10 workers faced fire and rehire threats during the peak of the COVID-19 pandemic, underscoring the urgency for reform in employment practices. As the debate continues, the effectiveness of the new code in curbing the contentious fire and rehire practice remains to be seen.